You are listening to Yo Nepali Life.
Namaste everyone, welcome to another episode of Yo Nepali Life. I'm your host Richa. म US को Atlanta, Georgia बाट बोलिरहेको छु. Hi Deepika.
Hi, I'm from Ohio, US, but I'm based in Boston.
Okay, आज हामी बोल्न लागेको सबैजना चाहिँ US मै छौं. अनि अहिले अमेरिकामा भइरहेको Black Lives Matter movement को बारेमा त सबैले अलिअलि सुन्नु भएको नै होला. अनि यो कुरालाई चाहिँ हामी as Nepali people and as human beings कसरी react गरिरहेको छौं, कसरी राम्रो ally हुन सक्छौं र कसरी यो कुराको बारेमा अझै सिक्न सक्छौं, त्यो कुरा चाहिँ हामीले यो पडकास्टमा कभर गर्न लाग्छौं छौं.
Yeah, and it's not just for Nepali living in America, it's for everyone, all of the Nepalis living all over the world. And like you might also think Nepalको कुरा चाहिँ किन कभर नगरेर अमेरिकामा भएको कुरालाई मात्र उठाइरहेको छ, लाइक नवराज विकला भएको कुरा चाहिँ हामीले इग्नोर गरेको होइन. अब अस्ति भर्खर पनि क्वारेन्टाइनमा एकजनालाई नराम्ररी ट्रिट गरेको थियो, त्यो कुरा पनि हामी ओभरलुक गरेको छैन. I mean it's something that has been happening in Nepal for years because of casteism. तर यो कुरालाई चाहिँ अलिकति गहिरामा जाने भएको भएर रिचार्ड talk about it.
Yeah. So नेपालमा भइरहेको अहिलेको इश्यूज चाहिँ अलि डीपली नै जान पर्ने नीड हामीले देखेर यही सब्जेक्टको एक्सपर्ट्सलाई नै बोलाउने डिसिजन गरेको छौं. त्यो एपिसोड पनि इज कमिङ अप शॉर्टली. यो दुईटै मुभमेन्ट्स ब्ल्याक लाइव्स म्याटर मुभमेन्ट अनि दलित लाइव्स म्याटर मुभमेन्टमा सिमिलरिटिज भए पनि देयर आर अ लट अफ डिफरेन्सेस स्पेशली यिनीहरूको ओरिजिनमा. सो त्यही कारणले गर्दा वी आर गोना डु टु डिफरेन्ट एपिसोड्स.
Okay, yeah, आजको अब Black Lives Matter मा चाहिँ एकदमै thoroughly discuss गर्नु परेको भएर this episode might be long. So let me just introduce my guests for today. Neha and Pankaj, hello.
Hi. Hi Deepika. Hi everyone.
I know both of you are very busy, you have a very busy life, so thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Of course.
Okay, to give you a bit of introduction, Neha Raimaji lives in Boston. She works in the field of justice-based philanthropy and organizing, and she did her master's in international development and social change. Undergrad was also in something similar, but only relevant she did her undergrad in international politics and communication with a focus on gender and race analysis. And she's also been an advocate for women empowerment. She talks about LGBTQ rights, racial issues, and she talks against Islamophobia. Pankaj Karka is based in New York. He works in the field of multimedia journalism, and he has also done some awesome works which has been featured by CNN. He did his undergrad in photography, print journalism, and he also did his master's in photojournalism in Boston University. By the way, Pankaj, do you know Martin Luther King also graduated from BU?
Of course, he's a legend.
Yeah, he's like the godly figure of this show. Let's move to our discussion, the main topic. Pankaj, do you want to start with how this protest started? Like, it's not something that just happened. So do you want to tell us what happened to George Floyd?
Yeah, so, Black Lives Matter movement has been going on for a number of years now. I don't remember exactly when it started. I've not looked at the movement that closely. In terms of why it's on May 25th, on Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is a big day in America. It is a day when veterans, people who've lost their lives serving in the military for America, they're remembered. So on that day, a 46-year-old black man named George Floyd, he was killed while in police custody by 4 police officers who've been arrested, who've been charged with murder and aiding and abetting a second-degree murder. So basically, George Floyd, he's a black man who was in his car outside a convenience store, and a couple of store clerks called 911 on George Floyd, and they told the police that there was this man who just came to the store, used a fake $20 bill, and he was just outside the store and he's in the car, and if they could come and look into it. So the police came, and then within 10 minutes of police coming to the scene, George Floyd was dead. How he died was Officer Derek Chauvin from Minneapolis Police Department, उसले आफ्नो knee, he put his knee on George Floyd's neck for a total of 8 minutes and 46 seconds. For the last 3 seconds of that entire time, Floyd was unconscious. So for the first 5 minutes, we can actually hear, I don't know if you guys have seen the video. It's pretty graphic. It's really graphic, yeah. So watch it at your own, at your own discretion. So basically what happened was the police officers come, they confront him, he's arrested, he's handcuffed, he's put in the back of a police car, then he's pulled out of the car for some reason, and then for the next 8 minutes and 46 seconds, there are 3 police officers who are pressing their knees on the neck and back and the knee of George Floyd. So you can hear throughout the video, he keeps pleading that he can't breathe, to let him go because he can't breathe. But 5 minutes, he loses consciousness, and the officers still don't leave. So by the time EMT gets there, he's already dead. So basically that's what happened. An unarmed black man was killed while in police custody, while he was begging for his life, while he couldn't breathe. And there were 4 officers who were there, and it happened in broad daylight. And that has basically, there's been massive protests every day since. There were major lootings initially in the first couple of days because there was a lot of frustration that was stemming. It's right now still going on. So, we are yet to see how historic this will be when we look back at it in 10, 15, 20 years from now. But aileko lagi चाहिँ, this has basically evolved into a massive, massive Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
अब हामी जसरी जर्ज फ्लोइड भयो है त्यसरी नै ब्रियाना टेलर थियो है जुन चाहिँ 2 महिना अगाडि पुलिसले चाहिँ उहाँको घरमा गएर उसलाई गोली हानेर मार्यो अनि अब एरिक गार्नर थियो स्यान्ड्रा ब्ल्यान थियो मलेसिया बुकर थियो माइकल ब्राउन थियो फर्गसनमा कतिको त अब नाम मिडियामा पनि आएन ह्याशट्याग बनेन हैन त्यसैले हामी चाहिँ आई थिंक वी नीड टु रिमेम्बर कि यो चाहिँ एउटा जर्ज फ्लोइडको बारेमा मात्र हैन जर्ज फ्लोइडको लागि मात्र हैन यो चाहिँ अब 400 इयर्स देखि आइरहेको यो सिस्टमेटिक अपरेसनको रेस्पोन्स हो हैन अनि आई थिंक एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट शिफ्ट चाहिँ के थियो भने आई थिंक 1950 60s अगाडि एमेट टिलको फर्स्ट केस भएको थियो एमेट टिल चाहिँ 14 वर्ष अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन बोय उ चाहिँ अब मिसिसिपीमा शिकागोबाट घुम्न आउँदा उलाई थाहा थिएन साउथ कस्तो रेसिस्ट थियो उलाई थाहा थिएन नथाहा भएको भएर उले एउटा ओल्डर व्हाइट वुमनलाई हेर्यो हो कि हेलो भन्यो हैन त्यो व्हाइट वुमन वाज सो अफेन्डेड दैट शी कॉल्ड एभ्रीबडी वाज अराउन्ड अनि बन्च अफ व्हाइट मेनले चाहिँ उलाई ह्याङ गरेर मार्यो 14 वर्षको बच्चालाई अनि उसको ममले चाहिँ फ्युनरलमा युजुअली क्यास्केट क्लोज हुन्छ नि उसको ममले चाहिँ फ्युनरलमा क्यास्केट ओपन राख्ने डिसिजन गर्यो के ओपन राख्ने चाहिँ किनभने सो दैट द वर्ल्ड क्यान सी हाउ अमेरिका ट्रिट्स ब्ल्याक पिपल अनि त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ अब सिभिल राइट्स मुभमेन्टको रिइग्नाइट भयो 1960s मा सो त्यहाँदेखि भइरहेको कुरा हो त्योभन्दा अगाडिदेखि भइरहेको कुरा हो हैन अनि अब ब्ल्याक लाइभ्स म्याटर अघि पङ्कजले भने जस्तै अब आई थिंक फर्गसन त्यो ट्रेभन मार्टिनको केसमा जब कि त्यो अर्को बच्चा है ट्रेभन मार्टिन जसलाई चाहिँ जर्ज जिमरम्यान भन्ने नट व्हाइट तर व्हाइट एडजेसेन्ट ल्याटिनेक्स मान्छेले चाहिँ अब गोली हानेर मार्यो उलाई जेल जानुको सट्टा उ अहिले सेलिब्रिटी भएको छ स्किटल्सले उलाई डिल दिएको छ पेन्टिङ उसको लागि गो फन्डहरु छ हैन त्यसको रेस्पोन्समा चाहिँ अब ब्ल्याक लाइभ्स म्याटर भन्ने ट्याग स्टार्ट भयो अनि त्यो स्टार्ट चाहिँ अलिसिया गर्जा अनि दुईटा अर्को ब्ल्याक क्वियर वुमन ब्ल्याक लेस्बियन क्वियर वुमनले स्टार्ट गरे मुभमेन्ट हो है अनि फर्गसनको जब भयो माइकल ब्राउन त्योदेखि चाहिँ त्यो ब्ल्याक लाइभ्स म्याटर चाहिँ एउटा संस्थाको रूपमा स्थापना भयो अनि अब अहिले त अब टेररिस्ट अर्गनाइजेसन भनेको छ नाना थरीको नाम छ है तर त्यही भने चाहिँ यो चाहिँ अब एउटा इन्सिडेन्ट हैन दुईटा हैन यो चाहिँ वर्षदेखिको इन्सिडेन्ट पुलिसको बारेमा मात्र पनि हैन यो चाहिँ सिटिजनहरु जसले चाहिँ अब आफ्नो स्पेशली व्हाइट अमेरिकन्स हु थिंक दे ओन अमेरिका हैन एन्टाइटलमेन्ट छ ओनरशिप छ अनि उनीहरुको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी टु प्रोटेक्ट अमेरिका भन्ने एउटा भावना छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई त्यही भएर चाहिँ अब एउटा इफ दे सी अ ब्ल्याक बोय इन द नेबरहुड दे फिल obliged टु प्रोटेक्ट इट के हैन फ्रम देयर ब्ल्याकनेस or all the stereotypical notions and so it's not against police it's not just against police but it's against policing of black people whether it's through court or police officers or people who think they have the rights to police black men or black people in general
yeah Thank you, Neha. Yeah, racial disparity is so drastic US ma. I mean, we have experienced other kinds of disparities in Nepal ma. Following up on that, I have this question for Pankaj. As a Nepali resident in America, यो इभेन्टलाई चाहिँ तपाईले कसरी पर्सिभ गर्नु भएको छ अनि especially in relation to non-Nepali counterparts, Black or non-Black Americans को comparison मा चाहिँ तपाईको experience मा how are you taking all of this?
The notion of Black Lives Mattering it goes back generations, you know. This is not something new. Yo kunai naya kura haina. 50 years ago, they were saying the same thing. 25 years ago, they were saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing. So, in terms of policing, I don't think this has changed my perspective. This has been something because I work in media, fortunately or unfortunately, we come across everything that is good or bad. So we've been aware that there's this system of systemic violence that is directed towards Black Americans and towards communities of color. So related difference now everyone has a camera on their hands, so everyone is able to document what happens. You know, like I said, they were saying the same thing, that there are unarmed, innocent Black men who are being incarcerated, who are being punished, who are being killed without any repercussions on anyone. You know, so this is nothing new. The only difference is that now everyone can see it. But I think the conversation changed as far as I'm concerned. Is even until George Floyd, there was always this argument from the other side about, oh, maybe he should have complied, or maybe he should have listened, or maybe he did something that we can't see. So it's always, the onus is always on the dead person or the person who's arrested to prove their innocence. And it's always assumed that maybe they did something wrong. Always. I would say what has happened what has changed with George Floyd case, I feel like now this is the first time where you've seen entire police departments come out and say what Derek Chauvin did was wrong. I've not seen a single police person defend, or even defenders of police defend what Chauvin did. They might still not agree with the BLM movement, might still label it however they want to. This is the first time I've seen the entire country condemn the action of a policeman. So this is why I feel like I'd say why this has changed, just because now there is no argument about what about the other side. What about maybe something happened? So now, there's so much momentum that's happening. There's a lot of policies that are coming into effect. Minneapolis, the city council voted to defund the police entirely, I think. Don't quote me on that, but they voted on that. New York City is planning proposals to defund the police. So my view on policing hasn't really changed. Again, this is not saying all police are bad or policemen are bad. Of course not. There's a system in place that makes it possible for these bad apples, the bad actors in the police uniform, to be able to think they can get away with whatever they want. And that is what this movement is against right now, I think.
Until government police already cases like he had a pregnant woman, he got the record to already. Video ma capture
yeah, I mean, he had he was involved in 3 police-involved shootings. One of them was fatal. The other 2 were non-lethal, but still, he was involved in 3 shootings. There were about 17 or 18 charges that were complaints that were charged against him. So again, no one is saying police themselves are bad, but there is a system that allows policemen who are bad to be able to get away with murder, and we've seen that happen again and again. But this is but hopefully this I think is a turning point. From where I stand, where I see, I feel like this may be a turning point. Hopefully, there's a lot of work to be done. I'm very hopeful that there'll be some serious changes from here on.
Yeah, racism is not new. It's just being filmed. I think this is a good example of that.
Absolutely.
So, our question is about Black Lives Matter. All hashtags like Blue Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter. I mean, Neha, this question is to you. I remember to Black Tuesday, you had posted why saying all lives matter at this time is insensitive. So, why do you think people are having a hard time understanding why it is insensitive now?
I think यसमा चाहिँ यो hashtag reuse गर्ने चाहिँ दुईटा क्याटेगोरी छ है एउटा चाहिँ अब तिमीले भने जस्तै all lives matter, blue lives matter, Asian lives matter हैन त्यो चाहिँ I think it comes from entitlement. I think it comes from maybe subconscious but racism हैन it comes from अनि म चाहिँ यो कसरी एक्सप्लेन गर्ने भन्दा I keep on using this example that I didn't come up with it है somebody else did तर अब एउटा नेबरहुडमा घर जलिरहेछ अनि त्यो घरको मान्छेहरु चाहिँ बाहिर आएर पानी ल्याएर ल घर जल्यो भनेर कराइरहेछ अर्को घरको मान्छेहरु आएर हैन हाम्रो घर पनि इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो हाम्रो पनि घरको फोटो खिच हाम्रो घरलाई पनि अटेन्सन दिउ भन्नु चाहिँ इट्स रिडिकुलस कन्सेप्ट अनि all lives matter चाहिँ मलाई त्यस्तो लाग्छ कि अब of course all lives matter all lives should matter but that's not the fact अहिले अमेरिकामा black folks are being targeted and उनीहरुलाई अट्याक गरिरहेछ attention is needed there अहिले आएर अब white lives matter भन्नु चाहिँ it's very I think it's wrong it's insensitive and it also takes the attention from what needs attention के अहिले त्यो हो है त्यो चाहिँ first category second category चाहिँ अब जस्तो Muslim lives matter Dalit lives matter trans lives matter है यो चाहिँ it's more complicated किनभने these groups unlike white lives matter groups are also suffering right these are also systematically disadvantaged group so उनीहरु चाहिँ they're also त्यो neighborhood मा उनीहरु पनि जलेको घरहरु हो हैन they also need attention but at the same time I think founders of Black Lives Matter ले चाहिँ हैन यो hashtag use नगर my solidarity is with trans people my solidarity is with South Asian Dalit people my solidarity is with Muslims but don't use this slogan भनेर आएको छ के पहिलादेखि अनि सो अब यो सब क्याटेगोरीजहरुले यो स्लोगन युज गर्ने कि नगर्ने चाहिँ I don't think it's my place to say हैन I think the only person who gets to decide that is founders of Black Lives Matter त्यही भएर म चाहिँ अब I'm trying to be very careful about how I judge the use of this hashtag हैन unless it's by something as ridiculous as white lives matter I think it's just it comes from not wanting black people to progress it comes from not wanting this movement to go forward all lives matter हो भने अर्को चाहिँ के नोटिस गर्न सक्छ भने जब all lives matter खाली black lives matter भनेर मुभमेन्ट आउँदा मात्र उनीहरुले all lives matter अगाडि ल्याउँछ के किन like why does movement have to be on the backs of black movements हैन अब गरौ न all lives matter भनेर अरु बेला भने भइहाल्छ नि त्यति बेला चाहिँ किन drop silence हैन these people usually are not involved in feminist movement or like welfare or you know गरिब बच्चा or they're not advocating for life they're not doing anything for any life तर जब black folks are standing up for themselves then they want to have this chant and stuff which is ridiculous
pride parade गिरी मान्छेले street parade पनि गर्नुपर्छ नि किन pride parade गर्नुपर्ने this is the type of thing
that was in Boston FYI
I remember
yeah Pankaj timle briefly mentioned garya थियो नि like police is supposed to protect us but we're so afraid of them भनेर अनि अहिले अर्को ह्याशट्याग पनि आइराको छ blue lives matter भन्ने हैन अनि एउटा क्वेशन चाहिँ के सोध्नु मन थियो भन्दा what does police mean to you तिम्रो like police प्रतिको perception how has it changed like नेपाल देखि आउँदा अथवा when you just moved here and you right now त्यो transition चाहिँ कस्तो भएको छ
yeah so I feel like police always get a bad name like even like growing up in Nepal too you know a police bhaneko I was born in Kathmandu I grew up in Kathmandu so I don't know how policing is outside of Kathmandu Valley itself but Kathmandu ma we grew up it doesn't just ramro nasunla tara don't hear like you know thinking like that because about the only time you'd see police or the only time you'd encounter police is when like Nepal banda Kathmandu upatyaka banda haru dakiri you'd go out and they would be with their lathi and they would lathi charge garnu huntyo uhanharule I know but like police garda like people protesting people like so police haruko chai aba कहिले पनि त्यस्तो राम्रो इमेज चाहिँ भएन होला अब मेरो फ्यामिलीमा पनि I don't really know anyone who serves in police I had friends whose dad मेरो मिल्ने साथीहरुको ड्याडीहरु they've served in the police तर अब I never really had मेरो त्यस्तो some police मान्छेहरुसँग I've never had any kind of a personal relationship right तर from as an observer I feel like नेपालमा पनि अब we always complained about abuse of authority यहाँ पनि अब I feel like it's very similar in the sense about how I look at police, like let's say if someone breaks into my home, the first thing I'm gonna do is call 911. The first thing, Yeah. So no one is saying we don't need police. We don't need these structures in place that help a society function like in the best way possible, So policing is needed, but what is not necessary is spending so much of our so much of our money investing in police when we've seen that kind of investment only results in more systematic abuse of people of color. Jastै अहिले अब New York NYPD को कुरा गरौँ न. NYPD को budget is $6 billion a year. $6 billion, the third largest military budget in the world, is the budget of New York Police Department. New York is a city which is probably as big as Kathmandu, maybe a little bigger in terms of size, but just NYPD ko budget is $6 billion a year. So that's combined more than what we invest here in New York in housing, in public national parks and public communities, like programs, public programs, welfare programs, in health structure. So that's where the problem is. Okay? No one is saying we don't need police. Even now, if an accident happens, which just happened, the first thing I did, I called 911. So all of us need police. It's not, the movement right now is not necessarily against policemen or against like people who wear blue. Like I have friends whose husbands work in the NYPD. Nepali ke husbands, Tibetan husbands, wives, they work in NYPD. But the system that allows the bad policemen in that system to get away with murder, which shouldn't be the case. So yeah, Blue Lives Matter, of course. Everyone matters. See, that's the thing about this though, right? It's not, no one, like anyone who's saying Black Lives Matter is not saying only Black Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, everything matters. But then the focus of this movement, why it's Black Lives, is because they're the only community that are being targeted, intentionally targeted in many different ways, to where they end up in a cycle of violence. They're never able to get out of the neighborhoods that they go in. And as a result, it just continues in a cycle from one generation to another. So yes, all lives matter, Blue Lives Matter, thin blue line, everything. Yeah, you can have all kind of good slogans that you want. The focus right now is on Black Lives Matter, because that is the only community that is being targeted intentionally, whether to be killed, whether to be arrested, whether in any kind of violence. They're the community that are bearing the burden of this the most.
Thank you, Pankaj. Following up on that, I want to ask Neha, this thing I'm struggling with is कहिलेकाहीँ साथीहरूसँग अथवा फ्यामिलीहरूसँग यो मुभमेन्टको बारेमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि उहाँहरूले बुझ्न अप्ठ्यारो मान्नुभयो जस्तो लाग्छ कि लाइक यो ब्ल्याक लाइभ्स म्याटर मुभमेन्ट किन इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ भनेर किनभने कहिलेकाहीँ we get backlash like Black Lives Matter, but you are not advocating against border issues in Nepal, or you don't care about the Dalit Lives Matter movement. अनि कतिपय नेपाली मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ हुन्छ नि N-word पनि युज गर्ने in the peak of this movement especially, त्यस्तो कुराहरू पनि हुन्छ. So Neha, I want to ask you, how do you communicate त्यति बेला? What approaches do you use that have been helpful to you so far?
I think पहिला चाहिँ मैले जब स्टार्ट गरे यो विषयमा कुराहरू उठाउँदा I was 18 है, भर्खर undergrad 18. त्यति बेला चाहिँ म एकदमै militant थिएँ है. एकदमै I was very militant. I was like like एकदमै I cut everybody off who was racist basically है. अहिले as I'm getting older, 30s मा अलिकति बुढेसका लागेपछि चाहिँ I am being more compassionate, and compassionate doesn't mean tolerating that, but approaching it with much more kindness and patience है. त्यो चाहिँ मेरो एकदमै चेन्ज भएको छ. अनि I think अब के कसरी कुरा गर्ने, यो मलाई सबभन्दा एकदमै चित्त नबुझेको कुरा चाहिँ किन कम्पेयर गर्नु पर्यो, किन कम्पिट गर्नु पर्यो. जसरी दलितहरूको अगेन्स्ट अप्रेसन हुन्छ, इट्स भेरी सिमिलर टु, instead of saying नेपालमा यस्तो भइरहेछ किन नआवाज, you should say ए नेपालमा पनि यस्तो भइराछ एन्ड अमेरिकामा यस्तो भइराछ, लेट्स फाइन्ड सिमिल्यारिटिज एन्ड पोइन्ट्स अफ एलाइसिप एन्ड सोलिडारिटी नि, त्यो जानुको सट्टा इट्स अटोमेटिकली दिस अर द्याट. What if I tell you, we're capable of holding all these complexes, and I can be sad about what happened to people in Nepal, and I can be sad about what happened to people here. And I think I start with that approach. Black Lives Matter post garyo bhandaima doesn't mean I don't care about other issues happening. And I think about strategy too, right? Black Lives Matter ko चाहिँ because there's a very clear instruction हैन, यो मुभमेन्टमा चाहिँ हामी एलाइजहरु नन ब्ल्याक पिपलले कसरी सपोर्ट गर्ने भनेर there's a clear instruction है. त्यो instruction अनुसार like we're posting this, we're sharing this hashtag नि, त्यो चाहिँ I haven't seen until recently for Dalit Lives Matter. I hadn't seen that, not just me, but probably people weren't doing that. Plus अब मेरो लागि चाहिँ अब मेरो घरमा हुने परिवार, they're not on my Facebook. It doesn't make sense for me to talk about Dalit Lives Matter on my Facebook. Those conversations happen on my WhatsApp with my family. Those conversations happen in Zoom gathering with my family. But I think the approach is different. I think what I'm trying to say is it depends on who you're talking to. It depends on where you are in your phase. I'm more compassionate, but I don't think it is wrong to be militant about these things. I think there's a need and space for all these different variations of how you approach. It depends on who I'm dealing with. How is my mood? Mero patient level it all depends. I can't expect everybody to be peaceful. Not everybody can be Martin Luther King. Some people need to be Malcolm X and fuck shit up.
For sure.
I think there's different ways, and you pick and choose. My dad said I have this conversation a lot. It took him 8 years to finally be okay with this. It's a constant. And अर्को चाहिँ कम्प्यासनेटको मैले कुरा भने नि हैन, त्यो चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट लागिरहेछ अहिले, किनभने हामी पिपल अफ कलर भनेर क्याटेगराइज हुन्छ हैन अमेरिकामा, अनि हामी पनि व्हाइट सुप्रिमेसी व्हाइट रेसिजमको रेसिपिएन्ट हो है, लाइक त्यो रेसिजमको, तर हामीले पनि एन्टी ब्ल्याक रेसिजम चाहिँ पर्पेचुएट गर्छौं. हाम्रो नेपाली कम्युनिटीमा पनि द वे दे ट्रिट ब्ल्याक फोक्स, इफ आई walk into a Nepali event with my black partner, it's a completely different thing. Right? हामी पनि anti-black racist छौं. त्यही भएर मलाई के लाग्छ भने instead of stop being friends with every Nepali who is racist, my job is to pull them in, call them in, talk to them. It's my responsibility to make sure that people from my community members are not harming other black people. त्यही भएर मलाई चाहिँ compassion को एकदमै need छ जस्तो लाग्छ यो मुभमेन्टमा. You can't fight and cancel everybody in your life for every isms and homophobia and phobias. You have to be kind, you have to be patient, and you have to approach it with love at the end of the day.
N-word ko pani bhanदैन, why is it wrong?
Yeah, I think अनि अघि मैले त्यो दुईटा category भने जस्तै अघि अब जस्तै when white people use it, I think it's very like, or they used to हैन पहिला, it was like a direct slur. I think a lot of time मेरो experience मा चाहिँ when नेपालीहरुले गरे चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ it's a term of, they think they're being friends, they think it's term of endearment. It's not necessarily this like, oh यो African American मान्छे आयो, let's use a slur against him भन्ने भावना चाहिँ हुँदैन. They think it's okay. So again, because of that difference, there's a different way of dealing with it, right? I'll give an example of the B word. So the B word, girls use it, we use it. That was a slur used against us, and then there was a point in time we said we're going to reclaim that word. हामीले त्यो वर्ड चाहिँ लिएर यो वर्डलाई हामी एउटा राम्रो थोक बनाउँछौं भनेर अब केटीहरुले एकअर्कासित युज गरेको that's okay. तर the अर्को group that actually started that word as a term of slur does not get to use it. They don't get to reclaim it. Okay, just the N word of black folks get to use it because they've decided यो wordले हामीलाई कति अब oppress गरेछ, हामीले यो wordलाई लिएर चाहिँ we'll make art out of it, we'll make poetry out of it. That's a powerful thing, that's an exclusive thing. Other people don't get to claim it. Okay? Other people don't get to utilize it and appropriate it.
Can I add something to this? So my experience on this has been saying about, I don't know how we change that. मेरो realization चाहिँ के आयो भन्दाखेरि, I mean, Nepali mancheharu, especially ones who are here, we really don't have a lot of experience or interaction with, first of all, anyone outside Nepali community. Secondly, if it is outside Nepali community, it's more South Asian communities, हाम्रो नेपाली मान्छेहरुको experience with the black community is very minimal, like very very minimal. From schoolingहरुदेखि लिएर हुन्छ कि तिम्रो घरहरुदेखि लिएर, especially of the maybe the neighborhoods that you go live in, नेपाली मान्छेहरु अब like because of all the stereotypes that you carry with. But again, that's also because of everything that they've seen until then. Like moviesहरुमा देखाउँदाखेरि पनि black men are always portrayed as this big giant like men you should be afraid of, like these angry men that you should like. हामी अहिले पनि मान्छेहरु like when we walk on the streets, there are people who walk to the other side of the street because they generally fear like because they're not seen तिम्रो त्यो systemले नै अब if you've never seen a black man portrayed as someone who can be good. For a lot of people हाम्रो नेपालमा especially moviesहरुमा wherever you see black men are always portrayed in a certain way that isn't the best light that you can see them. अहिले it's changing. So the way I've been having conversations with my friends is like I try to explain to them how let's say it's easier for me because I can relate. Like everyone here, especially in America, is an immigrant. If you're a person of color, then you are an outcast. And I was trying to explain to him कि Dalit lives matter and why Black lives matter. कसरी relate गर्छ भनेर मेरो लागि चाहिँ. So again, I'm not trying to say I am being persecuted against, like that there's a system against me. But the best way for me to explain to him was आफूले नभई समाज चाहिँ फेरि कसैले बुझ्दैन रहेछ कि कुरा जति पनि मान्छेहरुले जस्तो गरे पनि आफूले unless you have felt like you don't belong just because of the way you look or like where you're from, you'll never understand what racism is. And a lot of elitist communities in Nepal, in Kathmandu, will never understand that. No, it's true. It really is. It is. So the way I've been talking to my friends, so I try to explain to them that this is how it is. There are these systems in place that makes it impossible for a black child to grow up and be successful and come out of a neighborhood. Some do, exceptions. These are exceptions. But on a overall basis, it's very minimal. So there's a lot to be talked about. There's a lot that you need to dissect and talk about. I feel like if it's us who've been able to come to another country and able to like make something out of ourselves here, then it is also our responsibility to speak up for other Americans who are from here, who are being oppressed.
Deepika, तिम्रो त्यो question थियो नि why should we not use the N-word?
Yeah.
मैले अघि भने जस्तै one answer would be because we're being told not to, right? That's one way to answer. So second answer I would give is like, first of all, because that word चाहिँ historically चाहिँ एउटा मान्छेहरुलाई एउटा this is a whole group of people who were kidnapped. Right? Were kidnapped from their home and forcefully brought to the country. And your word like your word use गरेर चाहिँ यो मान्छेहरुलाई enslave गरेको थियो for years and for years है. अब 400 वर्ष अगाडि slavery end भयो तर त्यो 400 वर्षमा पनि यो word use गरेर चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई oppress गरिराछ. तर यो word चाहिँ most black folks को लागि चाहिँ एउटा त्यो oppression को symbol हो. हैन अब उनीहरुले युज गरे जे गरे उनीहरुको त्यो चाहिँ यो एकदमै हेभी वेट छ त्यो हिस्टोरिकल कन्टेक्स्टले गर्दा चाहिँ यो हामीले जोक गर्न मिल्ने हाम्रो र्याप हाम्रो आर्टमा युज गर्ने वर्ड हैन यो हाम्रो वर्ड हैन यो वर्डको चाहिँ अफ्रिकन अमेरिकन कम्युनिटीको एकदमै हिस्टोरिक एकदमै इमोसनल एकदमै हेभी कनेक्सन छ हैन त्यही भएर द्याट्स व्हाट आई वुड से कि यो चाहिँ एकदमै there's no justification हुन्छ नि there's no justification of
there's no need
either.
Yeah.
There's no need to use that word.
So another question was, both of you have joined in the protest of Pankaj New York ma ani Neha Boston ma. So how has this experience been so far? Ani why is this protest important to you?
Why it is important for me is because, like I said again, I feel like I can relate more to the black community in America, the community of color in America, than I can relate to the white America. Not to say again, nothing again. My employer is white. My friends are all, like, I have a bunch of white friends. I have a bunch of my professors were white. Like like the community that you live in. So it's not necessarily anything against Americans or white Americans. It just that's just me. That doesn't mean every other Nepali feels the same way. I was raised in a way that made me believe that everyone is equal, and I live like that. I really believe that everyone is equal. Like जात नेपालको कुरा देखिएर everywhere जातको जातको कुरामा पनि, कास्टको कुरामा पनि, रेसको कुरामा पनि, skin of a color, no matter what it is, I believe if I have the liberty and the right to be able to do what I want with my life, everyone else should have the same kind of liberty and the same kind of rights to exercise. So mero lagi se त्यही भएर it is important. It is also important because, but like I said, I work in the news, so I see this happen. Okay? Turn the other way. Once I need to look away because it doesn't affect you every day. Like hamro Nepali community, especially, like none of these issues I don't think affects any Nepali on a day-to-day basis at all. Like when we talk with my friends, I talk about this. I feel like हामीहरु बाहिरबाट आएको नेपालीहरु have a better chance at succeeding in America than Black Americans have in America, in a country where their fathers were born, where their grandfathers were born. And that is a very sad state of realization. And it's very true. I would love for someone to prove me wrong. Like if you have openings like for, let's say, for any kind of suru-surma Nepali, like, about minimal job, I feel like I can say with 100% certainty, I hope I'm wrong, I wish I'm wrong. If एउटा काले मान्छे र एउटा हामी जस्तो नेपाली मान्छे एउटै कामको लागि गयो भने I'm willing to bet a certain amount, whatever amount, that the Nepali guy would be hired before the black guy in America. Even though that Nepali guy might not be an American, may not be from the same country, doesn't matter. So I understand that, I've seen that, and I feel like it is on us as people who live in this country, who benefit from a lot of these opportunities that we have here in America. I feel like hamro pani responsibility ho to make sure that we speak up for those that we can clearly see are being oppressed. Because it's 2020, Abba. You can't be blind anymore. You can't claim to be ignorant.
How did you feel when you were in that protest?
Oh yeah, see, one more thing. I think everyone, wherever you are in America, whatever your notion is about Black Lives Matter, whichever side you choose, I think you should definitely make it a point to go to one or two of these gatherings. You don't have to go walk the whole march that they do. You don't have to do that, but just go and be a part of this movement. Because the energy in these movements, like New York, like Pride Parade, Pride Parade hosts, like anything. Because New York is so multilingual and it's so diverse that there's a lot of ally, there's a lot of support that you get. So the energy that you see in these movement, I think that helps. Knowledge about every time I go to these events, I walk away with a lot of gratitude, like a lot of gratitude for where I am, like, a lot of, like, you genuinely see voices that want to do good, who want to make sure that the world is a safer place for everyone else around them, not just for themselves. And it just wants you to be a part of something bigger than yourselves, So it's an amazing feeling. I think everyone should, even after just go and just be a part of that energy, that movement, because it's very important.
Thank you. Neha, how did you feel?
Why do I do it? I have too many family members who are Black. I consider them my people. Secondly, I feel the opposite of Pankaj, as in that I have made home with Black American folks, but I can relate to white people. किनभने मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भने नेपालको सन्दर्भमा I grew up with that white privilege, right? नेपालमा म as a Chhetri, as a upper middle class person, हैन मैले चाहिँ यहाँको American whites-हरुले जे privilege, systematic privilege साथ हुर्क्यो, म नेपालमा त्यसरी नै हुर्के हैन. मेरो लागि चाहिँ I can relate to white Americans, I grew up like that. I grew up with that systematic privilege. I know what it feels to suddenly have to give up that privilege and say, "Lo, मैले मेरो privilege त्यागेर चाहिँ I will join the other people." भन्नु it takes a lot of self-reflection and work to do. Okay, त्यही भएर मलाई चाहिँ अब I think it's my responsibility to be at the protest किनभने I am also part of group that is systematically privileged. हाम्रो नेपाली सन्दर्भमा. अनि अर्को चाहिँ अब as an immigrant पनि अब South Asian immigrantहरु यहाँ चाहिँ किन ल्याइयो भने 1965 मा न्यू इमिग्रेसन एक्ट साउथ एसियनहरुलाई चाहिँ यहाँ अमेरिकामा किन ल्यायो भने किनभने उनीहरुले चाहिँ अमेरिका एज अ नेसनले चाहिँ मोडल माइनोरिटी मिथ बनाउने सोच्यो हैन त्यो चाहिँ टु पिट these new people of color against black people. So what it did was like त्यो एक्ट को अनुसार चाहिँ साउथ एसियन्सहरु जो चाहिँ डाक्टर थियो लयर एकदमै एजुकेटेड साउथ एसियनहरूलाई यहाँ ल्यायो अनि के भन्यो भने हेर यो पनि त अर्को पिपल अफ कलर हो उनीहरूले त यस्तो राम्रो गरिरहेछ ब्ल्याक पिपल चाहिँ किन प्रोग्रेस नगरेको भनेर पिच गर्न थाल्यो क्या हाम्रो कम्युनिटीहरूलाई अनि what they were doing good is because the people who were being brought here were already educated. They already had degrees. They come from rich families, I know. त्यही भएर अब नेपालीहरूको लागि it's not that relatable. तर most South Asians who came to United States पहिला चाहिँ they already came with privilege. के अनि अहिले चाहिँ South Asianहरूलाई चाहिँ we're being used. We're being used to vilify black people. Okay. हामीले unintentionally होस् वा intentionally नहोस् हामीले चाहिँ त्यो anti black racism लाई add perpetuate गरिरहेछ हामीले गर्दा black people are being oppressed and attacked अनि त्यही भएर it's our responsibility to say no, I'm not going to give in to that model minority myth, I'm not going to be a tool, I'm not going to be utilized. I think the burden is on us. That's why I participate in protest. Ani, how have I felt being in protest? This is the first year I haven't been attending as many protests as I used to. पहिला म जब 18-19 अब younger थिएँ त्यति बेला चाहिँ अब as a student I don't think I had any resources to contribute to the movement के अनि अब रिस मात्र थियो है अब भर्खर बुझेको त्यो जोश थियो अनि केही गर्न सकिन्न अब ब्रोक इन्टरनेशनल स्टुडेन्ट अरु के गर्ने है अनि how do I contribute भन्दा I will show up in the streets अनि त्यति बेला चाहिँ धेरै साउथ एसियनहरु पनि there were not many South Asians who were showing up for black movements त्यति बेला 2008-2009 तिर so त्यति बेला चाहिँ मैले एकदमै गरे अब अहिले चाहिँ after 12-13 years of being in United States अहिले I work in philanthropy. I have certain positional power of being able to move money philanthropy ma. What I see my role is like instead of showing up in protest, my role is to use mero kamko position and move money. Justice based philanthropy ma kaam garchu ani what I've been focused on is like I'm using the protest ko data. So when I go to protest, I go there to get data. I bring it back to my work. I take it to my board members and say, this is why we need to move our money, our endowment money to Black Lives Matter. This is why we need to put some of our endowment money to this organization led by Black people. So I think my age ko anusar, mero different phase ko anusar, my role in the movement has changed. So I don't necessarily go to protest as much as I used to. But Pankaj bhane jastै I think being in that is inspiring. Right? It's like inspirational. It charges you. I think you really get to feel alikati. I don't think we'll ever be able to understand their pain. That's not going to happen. What we can do is be there. If you're a student, go to protest. If you have citizenship, go to protest. If you have a job that pays you a lot of money, donate money. If you have emotional patience and capacity, educate your other Nepali friends. So do whatever. You don't necessarily have to show up for protest, but you can show up for the movement in any way you can. There's ways to do that, there's options for all of us. Boston ko protest ma chahi ma chahi ni Breonna Taylor ko protest lai chahi gaira chu kinabhane like any other movement there's sexism, there's transphobia. Black Lives Matter ma pani all the focus is going to George Floyd, all the men, and trans women are being murdered, black trans women are being murdered. So because there aren't many people marching for it, then I try to go to those protests. So yeah, that's how I feel. I feel a lot of things. So
but I would like to add one more thing, Neha, to what you said. I think everyone should go to a protest. You don't have to go and shout and scream. Just to like experience. I mean, you get to hear what the problems are. I mean, I know we watch videos on my YouTube or Masabai. You hear the same slogans and it's the same protests. I feel like if you actually go to one of these things, then you also get to humanize these issues personally, versus from a screen. And then once you're a part of something, I feel like automatically, as human tendency is, you become a little more invested in it, maybe. So I feel like you don't have to like be active and show up every day, but I lay in this like time and age when there's such a revolution happening in this country that you live in, you should definitely like, even if you can just want to brag, even if you just want to go brag, whatever you want to do, just go experience it, because I feel like you'll come out of it gaining a whole lot more than you walked in with.
Mm-hmm.
So
then there's again like intersectionalities. Okay? So if you're a non-citizen and you get arrested, you get deported, right? You don't have this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's that. You have to think about that. Just similarly, like disability justice, I mean, America's disability justice, it's being led by Black women, and there's intersectionality there. And इसको अनुसार चाहिँ not everybody has like body ability to show up for protest. But people with immune compromised diseases should not be going out in a pandemic. Right? So I'm just like, I think we should join the protest, but for people who are not able to, for different reasons, there are other ways we can show up. Okay, मैले यो भन्न चाहिँ किन खोजे भने हैन यस यो कारणले गर्दा म प्रोटेस्ट गर्न पाएन त्यही भएर मैले केही गरेन भन्ने चाहिँ पाउँदैन किनभने there are other ways to do things. Okay, तिमी प्रोटेस्टमा जान नसके पनि there are A B C D E F all these other things you can do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why a lot of Nepalese are not involved in the protest. I mean, especially students, because there's a fear of being deported, like including me, because of my status in US.
तिमीले प्रोटेस्टको एक्सपिरियन्सको कुरा गर्दाखेरि नि पंकज तिमीले भन्यो like you feel a feeling of gratitude अनि there's a humanization of the issue and everything. What I want to know is on the flip side कतिको emotionally draining हुन्छ अनि तिमीले अघि कुरा गरेको थियो नि अदरनेसको बारेमा like we are the other US मा भनेर like are you reminded of that when you see police brutality protests ma?
About like how draining it is, because I'm sure my emotional drainage is nowhere close to people who every day live with this fear. मेरो emotional drainage भनेको like I get into heated conversations with my friends, heated in the sense we're both like arguing about like what we think and what our positions are about certain issues. But at the end of the day, after the conversation, you go back to being friends. So emotionally draining चाहिँ भएको छैन. It has become exhausting because I work in the news and every day when you deal with the news coming out right now, it's the same. Like for the past 2 months, it's been just horror news one after another. Pandemic, but the way people have been dying, the way people have been losing their livelihoods, their houses. 2020 has been an exhausting year, I'm sure, for everyone. Emotionally draining पनि हुन्छ, depends on how emotionally invested you are in these movements. Like Nehale भन्यो, but she has family members who are Black. मेरो लागि, I'm not maybe as emotionally invested as someone who has a lot to lose would be. So it is draining, but that is something that you have to be willing to undergo, I think, as an ally. Like, if you're an ally, if you're someone who supports these movements, then think about it. Like if for you, it's exhausting to go and be a part of a movement for a day, to go speak up about an issue for a day, to post about something that'll literally take you 2 minutes on your social media is exhausting. Think about how tiresome it should be when people actually have to live in fear every day of their lives. So, then you want to compare apples and apples, and then you just realize that your exhaustion has no merit. I mean, again, I'm not going to say no merit. I'm sure it has merit,
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add a couple things to that. Nepalma चाहिँ अब सुनिराख्नु भएको छ भने we're catering this towards Nepalमा बसेका मान्छेहरूलाई हैन. I lived in the US for about 11 years and right now I split my time between UK and West Africa हैन. अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ मलाई यति मैले culture shock को कुरा गर्दाखेरि UK मा आएपछि the biggest culture shock I faced was cops देखेर डर लाग्दैन के पुलिस देखेर. UK मा I walk around the streets when I'm driving, Africa मा होस् त्यो कोही पुलिस आयो भने डरै लाग्दैन के. अनि नेपालमा बस्ने मान्छेहरु तपाईलाई त्यो म्याग्निट्युड कुन छ हैन बायसको त्यो तपाई सोच्नु मन लाग्यो भने हामीलाई त्यस्तो हुन्छ भने अफ्रिकन अमेरिकनहरुलाई कति बढी हुन्छ होला. किनभने म ड्राइभ गर्दै जाँदाखेरि हरेक चोटी युएस मा कपले पुल ओभर गरेपछि यस्तो डर लाग्थ्यो हैन. यहाँ चाहिँ अब यस्तो हिँड्यो के भन्छ के पनि डर लाग्दैन के. And that changes the entire perspective on life. It's been less than 2 years, but you're just an entirely different person when that fear is gone. So, त्यो चाहिँ अब UK US मा नबस्नु भए मान्छेहरुले चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ बुझ्न जरुरी छ जस्तो लाग्छ. कति चाहिँ यो बायस छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ.
त्यसमा मलाई I think what's necessary to add is like so नेपालमा मैले भन्दैछु त्यस्तो डर हुँदैन नि. US completely different, but I also don't want to speak on behalf of Madhesi people or Dalit folks who probably feel the same way in Nepal. Police, especially army, police. मेरो चाहिँ transparency को चाहिँ family is full of armies and police है. त्यही यो एपिसोड आएपछि चाहिँ घरबाट एकदमै पिटाइ खाने भयो. Yeah, I like the way army, police को मान्छेहरूले जसरी गाउँको मान्छेहरू दलित मधेसीहरूलाई ट्रिट गर्छ it's very similar है अनि I think so that depends on who you are, what body you occupy. Yeah, तर USA को चाहिँ it's very different. It's way more systematic है. Every policy मै embedded छ के त्यो को चाहिँ अलि separate अलि अर्कै नै डर लाग्दो नै छ.
I just want to one more thing this Mike. मैले अहिले चाहिँ like about Dalit like there's so much that I like Suruma when we talked about it Deepika Sankara we thought we were going to talk about Dalit lives and all that too but it had been such a broad topic Dalit like even like as someone who grew up in Kathmandu about Dalit community there was zero interaction a lot of times and so let's say like when I talk to my friends here about Dalit communities it's the same अब जसरी अब यहाँ हाम्रो ब्ल्याक कम्युनिटीसँग इन्टरेक्सन नै हुँदैन त्यस्तै अब काठमाडौँको मान्छेहरूको कुनै पनि दलित कम्युनिटीसँग इन्टरेक्सन नै हुँदैन आई इन्भाइट यु गाइज टु प्रुभ मी रङ तर अब म नै द फर्स्ट टाइम आई एभर स्पोक टु अ दलित पर्सन इन नेपाल म 2015 मा अमेरिका आएको 8 वर्षपछि मैले मेरो युनिभर्सिटीबाट फेलोशिप पाएर नेपाल गएर प्रोजेक्ट गर्नको लागि पैसा पाएपछि वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई एभर ह्याड अ कन्भर्सेसन विथ someone from a Dalit community. So that's where we have to recognize privilege. So when I talk to my friends about here, American friends, not American friends, Nepali friends here, who believe Black Lives Matter, who follow that movement. And Dalit Lives Matter in Nepal case because they understand what's happening here with privilege. They understand what white privilege is, but they don't understand the privilege that they get by being a Chetri, by being a bound, they don't understand that because it's easy for them to back off. But I've been using a lot of analogies to explain both movement to my friends here who understand one and don't understand the other. And it's been like there's a lot of similarities between these two movements.
Roshan, तिमीले के सोध्ने भन्यौ?
होइन मलाई चाहिँ घरमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नेपालमा कुरा गर्दा नेपालमा फोकस गरौँ हैन त्यहाँ चाहिँ the question I keep getting is why George Floyd, why now? There's been like newspaper articles that I read and it say like his death was particularly gruesome and obvious, but clearly that wasn't the case. Like Tamir Rice had no money. Fernando Castillo, you watch the video, you can't watch it. It was the last straw. Bunsen Koile Bunsen, all the Karens came out. There's more white people involved. That's why this is the thing. Koile Bunsen, it's a pandemic. There's high unemployment. So why now? Why is this the thing? What do you guys think? घरमा चाहिँ त्यो अहिले चाहिँ किन त त्यो कोरोना लागेर मात्र हो कि हैन? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's because of about कति वर्षको effort के I think हुन्छ नि अब एउटा vesselमा पानी हाल्यो नि eventually the thing comes up. एउटा खै क्रोको त्यस्तै एउटा स्टोरी पढा जस्तो लाग्यो हामीले सानोमा नेपाली किताबमा ढुङ्गा हान्छ नि त्यो
पानीमा साल्ने
बाहिर हुन्छ नि the crow drinks water. I think it's that के I think I'm sure अलिअलि त्यो पेन्डेमिकमा मान्छेहरू लकडाउन एक्लै भएर there's a want to go outside. I'm sure that's a factor. But I think मेरो चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ I want to give full credit to years and years and years and years of hard work that has been put. This is not a new thing. These people, organizers, have been sacrificing their careers. Like they're being labeled as domestic terrorists. They've sacrificed everything to build this movement. So I think it's just years and years ko effort चाहिँ अब अलिअलि बाहिर आउन थाल्यो. I think that's the only people I want to give credit to.
No, for sure, yeah. I think those events, without taking away from the activists that Nia was talking about, they do play a role as well.
Obviously, we have come to the end of the episode. Our last question, do you have any credible resources that people can use for learning more about this thing?
There's this podcast on New York Times, they were 1619 Monday podcast. They have this series that has stayed with me for a while. That really tells you how systemic racism works. It explains to you, like it breaks down one case of what happens in Louisiana with black farmers, and then you're smart, like if you're an educated, you're a smart person. You don't have to be smart too. You'll easily be able to see how that pattern is spread across everything else, from housing to policing to community infrastructures to schooling, everything that will help you make sense. So resources, in terms of resources, they support black-owned businesses in the community. Those are small ways. It might not seem like a lot to you, that I really think those things add up. Support black-owned businesses, follow profiles and voices that amplify black movement, and then like Neha said, there is no excuse about that.
Our podcast last question by Harry will move on to something slightly less serious. Yeah. We asked this to all our guests, since the name of the podcast is Your Nepali Life. We asked them, what is the most Nepali thing about you? Nepal भन्ने बित्तिकै चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै के याद आउँछ? What do you think? हुन्छ नि नेपाली चाहिँ के हो त?
मेरो भइहाल्छ नि भन्ने एकदम I have a very laid back approach to life with a lot of things that I do. It doesn't mean I don't get shit done. तर भइहाल्छ नि, everything I'm very much a भइहाल्छ नि guy. Oi, we gotta go do this. मलाई भइहाल्छ नि. But even now, let's say if I have to घर आयो and then I open my socks and I leave it by the door. And then if I'm sitting on the couch and then I have to take it put it in my room. That attitude. I think that's much more in me than I should have.
What about you, Neha?
I think you answered. म चाहिँ एकदमै दाल भात पावर मान्छे है. मलाई हप्ताको 2-3 चोटि दाल भात तरकारी नखाएसम्म I could go to the best restaurant, eat all the fancy food, तर दाल भात तरकारी नखाएकन मलाई चाहिँ I feel weak. I feel like the day is incomplete. अनि अलिकति stressful day भएको छ भने चाहिँ म एकदमै मसाला वाला चिया बनाएर खानु, and that's somehow that's my self care है. एकदमै
I'm gonna invite you when I'm back to Boston.
Please do, yeah. Dal Bhat Power is probably the most Nepali thing about me.
It's very true too. I absolutely believe in the power of Dal Bhat. 100%.
Thank you, both of you, Pankaj and Neha, for coming to our podcast and teaching us so much about this movement. I hope all of us can help this movement more, be better allies than we are right now. I hope people back home, तपाईहरुले पनि के सिक्नु भयो होला, कसरी चाहिँ यो मुभमेन्टको लागि ally हुने, racial disparity भनेको के हो, अनि how we can be better humans overall. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. This was very helpful and enlightening to us, and I'm sure it was for all the listeners out there. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're listening to Yo Nepali Life.